Oh my gosh, you guys, something's going for it. Fish on, fish on, fish on. Oh, that's a nice fish. That's a nice fish. There we go, fish on. No way. Fish on the crazy lure. What's going on, everybody? Nick from 618 Fishing here, and welcome back to another fishing adventure.
There's silence in the darkness, a chaos underneath, a reckoning inside us calls out from the deep.
Some of you who have watched the channel for a while know that I used to do a ton of lure challenges. I also used to drive around in this old Jeep. Well, today we are kicking it old school. I'm bringing back the lure challenge. I found a very interesting looking lure online. Hopefully we'll be able to catch something.
Whether we stand or divided we fall, brothers and sisters we are.
We have made it out to the pond of giants, and we are not fishing out of a kayak today. We are doing some bank fishing, and the lure that we will be using, I found on Amazon. It is a soft sand dab. I've never heard of this before. It's apparently used to catch link cod, which I believe are out in California. There are no link cod in this pond. I'm gonna use this to try to catch a fish that lives out here beneath the surface, and there are some monsters out there, so I'm hoping something wants to eat this very interesting looking lure. This thing does not have any hooks on it. From the pictures, it looks like they just use a giant jig head with it, so we are going to try to replicate that. But let's go ahead and see what this looks like. All right, it's feels pretty durable, which is good. It's got a little tail. I think that's going to make for a good action in the water. I'm feeling pretty optimistic. The pictures show this thing being used with a massive jig head. I don't have anything quite that big, but as far as what I do have, this is it. Most of these are pretty small, but I do have a few pretty decent sized jig heads, like this one right here, that might work nicely with this lure. It's gonna add a little bit of flash because this water is quite a bit muddy, but it's also the biggest one that I have. Now, as you guys could tell, this lure is imitating a fish that has two eyes on the top of its head. So let's go ahead and assume that this fish swims like this in the water. I'm gonna have the hook going up on top of it. I think that's probably how this is meant to be rigged. All right, that's actually looking very promising. Now, pay no attention to the fact that this fish now has two heads. I don't think the predators out in the pond are going to look that closely. Okay, I've got it rigged up on this jig head. Let's go ahead and see what it looks like in the water. All right, it actually looks really good. I'm thinking this jig head is going to be a good choice for this lure because it adds a little bit of flash with that blade, but the tail on this lure has a really good action as well. Okay, after preliminary testing, I think this lure is going to do great. Let's see if the fish are as impressed with it as I am. First cast. Oh my gosh, you guys, something just took a bite out of it. Just as I was about to pull it out of the water, a fish came up and tried swallowing it, but I don't think the fish was big enough. I was starting to lose hope, but there we go. That is a great sign. Aside from one small bite, I have not had any luck with that crazy lure, so I'm gonna hit pause on that challenge and try to catch my first fish of the day. Let's attempt to catch some fresh bait using the cast net. The cast net was a huge fail, so I'm gonna try to catch some fresh baits by tossing out a night crawler with my ultralight. There we go, fish on. Oh my gosh. Holy smokes, you guys. This this bluegill is a little bit too big to use as bait. Look at the size of this fish. Oh my gosh, what a beast. See you later, buddy. Alrighty, let's try this again. Fish on. Oh, that is not a bluegill. That is not a bluegill. Oh my gosh. No way, you guys. I just caught a decent little bass using a tiny piece of worm. See you later, buddy. Well, we have gotten the skunk off the board in the form of a massive bluegill and a decent little bass. But there are some much, much larger fish out there in this pond. I'm not gonna give up on that lure, but I'm still in search of some live bait. There we go. It is still a pretty big fish, but I'm gonna use this guy as live bait. Check out the size of this bait. All right, I'm excited to toss this out there and see if it wants to pick it up. I'm gonna try something else with this crazy soft plastic. I originally had it on this jig head, but I don't think that was working very well. I was having a problem with how much stuff it was picking up off the bottom, so I went ahead, I got rid of that jig, and I'm using pretty much it weightless with this big old J hook. I'm feeling pretty optimistic about this. Oh my gosh, you guys, something's going for it. Fish on, fish on, fish on. Oh, I got wrapped around something. Oh, you guys, something actually went for it. Oh my gosh, no way. Oh, I totally changed up the technique. I fished it on the top water as almost like it was a bait fish that was injured. Let's see if I get a second chance. All right, guys, I think something picked up the bluegill. Oh my gosh. Well, that is not what I was after, guys. Look at the size of that snapping turtle. Dang. What a beast. First take on the bluegill was a massive snapping turtle. All right, guys, I've done a ton of walking today. I am back where I got that one really good strike on this crazy lure. Let's give this spot another chance. I am taking a break from that crazy looking lure. I've rigged up a chatterbait. Let's see if I can get something to go for this. There's a fish. Fish on. That feels nicer. Oh, that's a nice fish. That's a nice fish. That's a nice fish. Easy, buddy. There we go. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at the size of that bass. Yes, finally caught a decent one. This is the biggest bass I've caught so far this year and the biggest I've caught in quite some time. 4.75, almost 5 pounds, but what a beast. See you later, buddy. Yes, It has taken quite some time, but we were finally able to catch a decent fish out of this pond, and that was a really nice sized bass, the biggest that I've caught in a very long time. Unfortunately though, I did not catch him using that crazy lure. I'm gonna tie it back on, and hopefully we'll be able to catch a fish with that crazy lure. Oh my gosh, you guys, Sterling just went for it. There we go, fish on. No way. Fish on the crazy lure. Oh, it's a nice one. There we go. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I was starting to lose hope, guys, but we just caught a nice bass using that crazy lure. Awesome. See you later, buddy. Talk about a struggle. As the day went on, I was getting less and less optimistic about whether or not I would actually be able to catch a fish using this crazy lure. But we were finally able to accomplish that. If you guys would like to see more lure challenge videos in the future, leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed this one, I'd really appreciate it if you left a thumbs up. Possibly think about subscribing if you haven't. I will catch you guys on the next one.
There's blood in the water. Rumors in the thunder. Together we stand.
All right, guys, first cast, and we almost got it snagged. First catch is a slimy stickfish. Oh no, dang it. There goes my bait.